Welcome to the Red Raider Preview Show. This is the show that discusses all the Red Raider related issues. Coach Ritter will let us know his take on the Hartselle game. He'll also give us a preview of the homecoming game against the Generals of Lee High School from our neighbor to the east, Huntsville. Coach Ritter's ruminations continue for the rest of the schedule. Ruminations? Yes, sir, ruminations. The guys are excited for the second half of the season starting this Friday night. They appreciate all the support that the parents and fans give them. It's good to know that somebody is in their corner rooting for them. And never, ever forget that today is a great day to be a Red Raider. Now on to the Red Raider Preview Show with John, Brent, and Coach Ritter.
Welcome to the Red Raider Preview Show with Coach John Ritter. And John Godwin. What does Nick call you?
No.
Okay.
It starts with a V.
Starts with the venerable one.
Right. I don't even know. What
and
that
the something sideline reporter.
Well, who are you?
I'm the sideline reporter, Brent Collins.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. All right, so hey, this is in preparation for Game 6 against the Lee Generals.
Let me see the platinum sponsors for me.
Let's hear the platinum sponsors. Thank you for all your help in support of Decatur High Athletics. Evans and Harris PC, Gold Rush Tax, Fluid Engineering, Decatur Coca-Cola Bottling, Melissa and Jamie Penley, the Core Construction Group, United Community Bank, Early Services, Decatur Utilities, Guy's Pharmacy, John Pilot with Eagle Creek, Culver's, Dr. Lou Sample, and David Peak.
All right, so I'm going to start off with my Ritter's Ruminations. Is that good? Okay. All right, Coach, here you go. Here's one you can chew on. How do you personally stay motivated throughout the ups and downs of a football season?
That's easy. You know,
Coors Light?
No. That helps sometimes. No, I mean, you got to stay focused on the task at hand, and you know, I think I've said it multiple times. We're trying to build programs. We're not trying to build teams. You know, and if we were invested in only building teams, then the downs is going to bury you. And you know, that's not what we do. We're here wherever we've ever been is to build a foundation that programs are built upon, and you know, that's the end goal, and that's why we're here every day. That's why we work, and there's been no different preparation for Game 6 as Game 1. You know, if you were at practice this morning, you saw the same intensity and focus and grit out of the coaches that you did on August the 5th.
Well, you know, we talked a little bit about a certain situation at the game the other night at Hartselle when they kicked the onside kick. Okay, that's fine. But to me, that's the motivation for us. It might not be this year, it might not be next year, but there's going to be a time when that'll bite them in the rear end.
Yeah,
and I think that's motivation to me, is that, you know, from a broad brush, you know, what used to be for Brent and I a Decatur program that didn't necessarily happen to, and you're going to bring it back to those times, and I think that's where I'm giving you motivation.
Yeah,
but that's where we're going to get back to.
Yeah, you know, and you know, people, I guess today's coaches, they take the shots when they can, and that's okay, because there's going to be a day, you know, hopefully sooner rather than later, that they don't get that shot.
Well, and something I saw, I mean, I get front and center of it on the sideline, but you guys, your coaching staff, was coaching it to the bitter end. I mean, you showed an intensity to these guys that I can remember back when Coach Rivers was here. I mean, and that's the kind of spark and grit. The guys aren't going to learn overnight, but you can tell you are personally motivated. I mean, you just got it in your blood. I mean, and so I did see you and your dad talking after coming off the first half. I didn't. Maybe that's between you and your dad, but I know he's there to be a sounding board for you. But I do appreciate the intensity, and it starts with the leader, and you are the leader of the program. And I know that wears off into the staff, and you put people around you that have that same intensity.
Well, ask him about Hartselle.
All right. So overall, we can talk through that. Obviously, the first half was where the most action happened. Go through the offense, the defense, the special teams, injuries, and then a couple game balls. I know we talked about that toward the end of the game, and so when did you watch the first film of the Hartselle game?
Probably 20 minutes after the game was over.
20.
After the family left and we started washing clothes. There were some bright spots. It's kind of hard to find bright spots when it's 50-0. I'll be very transparent with you because I'm not a participation trophy guy. I'm not a Mr. Feel Good just because that's what you're supposed to be. I'm brutally honest with these kids, and we didn't do a real good job, and we didn't play with a lot of intensity. We didn't play with a lot of focus. And we let the situation going on around us affect how we participated in that game, and that's bullcrap. If we're going to let outside influences or that scoreboard or whatever dictate how we play, then we're going to have a long next 5 games, and they're going to have a long career here until we get it changed, or we get a group in here that doesn't, let the score, let how they're playing or whatever affect how you play. Offensively, I thought we did some good stuff with some of the triple option that we were running. We threw the ball early on, and we had a ton of drops, and then we have some sacks. And, then when you get down, you throw a pick and you get a safety, and the next thing you know, it's 23-0. All that game planning and all that preparation goes out the window, and now you're playing catch up. And, it's kind of the same thing defensively. We got to learn to put our face on people. Special teams, we got to punt block because we screwed up the count, and it's counting to 4. It's not like it's counting to 104. And then we step out of the back of the end zone. But here again, those are learning experiences for Bryson, a first-year player who's our punter. And unfortunately, he's had to punt a lot. And for the most part, he's done a pretty good job.
He's done a good job.
And he learned the lesson the other day about stepping back when you're.
Well, and I was right there.
Have y'all practiced that at all?
Yes.
Okay.
I was right down there on that back line, and if I could have said something, I was right. I knew it was going to happen. It was right there, and he stepped up for a minute, and then it was, I knew it was going to be that safety. But I tell you, you talk about game balls and that you look for the silver lining, some things that you can build on, and you got a freshman, number 13, Tashan Morris. I got as excited about that hit. He put that helmet on that ball, and if you want to show a model to your kids about, and he doesn't have a lot behind him where he's, packing a punch, but he didn't mind putting his head on that ball and popped it out. And if this morning, did it get a little physical in practice, or is that tomorrow's practice where, you kind of...
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday are good ones for us, and we had a good one today, and from a physicality standpoint. And that's the thing is what I've told our coaches is we can't take anything for granted right now. We got to teach the same things over and over and over. And, practice, the Monday practice gets monotonous because it's the same thing we did last Monday. But, it ain't got to that point yet because we're not very good at what we're doing. And, we're going to continue to hammer the little things. And when they click, we'll move on to something else.
Well, and just catching the ball, right? We were very complimentary of Zane and some things he did throughout the game, and more than anything, he didn't quit, right? But he threw some balls out there and hit some guys in the numbers that these guys know they should be caught. So, what you just go drill after drill, and how do you work on that? Is there any particular?
Yeah, we've got 2 or 3 things. We start out practice with routes on air while the defensive guys it's kind of a defensive specialty period. But, those offensive-only guys that don't cross over are getting a lot of smoke screen. They're getting a lot of pedal screen, see how many balls we can throw and catch in a 10-minute period. And then, once we start individual and small group, we have RVA periods. We have half-line pass periods where we take what we did in individual and we do it in small group called RVA. It's routes on air, going through our progression, going through our reads, and then we add a defense. And we call it half-line pass and kind of the same thing. It's the routes versus the defense. And then, of course, you've got your team setting. And, that I'm a big part whole guy. I like to break it down as small as I can, an individual, and then go with some small group before we ever go team. And, we've done the same things on Monday for the last 12 years. We've done the same Tuesday practice schedule for the last 12 years. And, what we do works. And, I've got a lot of faith in what we do. And when it clicks, it's going to be good. And, a lot of what we're doing has been modified for this group. We're probably running more triple stuff than we've ever run, probably since 2018 with Lucas McNutt and Zay Boyd at Russellville. And maybe even before that at West Morgan with the little Pluso kid that I had. But, we tailored our offense for the skill guys that we have, for the linemen that we have. And, now we've just got to keep getting better, keep getting better and hammer those little things.
Well, you did get Bryce Parker back. It was good to have him on, the senior leadership that he can show. I did see that Harris Penley was toward the end of the game. It seemed like he was looking back at the sideline and looking at his wristband. Was he trying to help call plays? Or?
Yeah, I think he wanted to get out on the perimeter on one of them guys. Might have been talking a little bit.
I got you.
So he was suggesting some
Please
plays.
call it to where he knew he was going to block the dude.
I think so.
Probably.
I'll tell you, if you could have 100 Harris Penleys, you'd take them. I know that. So,
Absolutely.
Good man right there.
So let's talk about the Lee Generals. Lee Huntsville Generals. A little bit of background on them. This year they're 0-5. Got beat by Grissom the first game, 35-34. Bob Jones blew them out 63-7. Southside Gadsden beat them 31-7. May Jemison, which is another team that we'll play, next week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Got beat by May Jemison 43-8. And then Buckhorn, which is another common opponent, lost to Buckhorn 38-14. Irvin Maguire, you know Irvin?
Yeah, so they were in our region.
Because they were 5A, yeah.
2 of the years that I was at
Is this
Russell.
their first year back in 6A?
I'm not sure.
I think they came up last week.
Yeah, I think last year.
They should be there.
It's his fourth year. He's 13-23 overall. Good coach, nice guy.
Yeah, very good guy. He came from down in Tuscaloosa area. Like I say, they were in our region, I guess 2020 maybe, or 2021. I can't remember that 2-year stretch. Dealt with Coach Maguire, I guess both of the years. And very good guy, seems like a good coach. Very athletic. They're a typical Lee team as far as there's athletes everywhere. They've got big offensive linemen, big defensive linemen, and if the stars and the moon align, they're going to be hard to handle. And they're, even though they're 0-5, they're very athletic and they're very explosive.
Does it help having the crossover? It looks like Buckhorn is the first crossover game that common component.
To an extent, yeah. And maybe watching the Buckhorn film, there was some things that we saw that that Buckhorn had success against us that maybe they did against Lee, and vice versa. But at the same time, that's not the same Buckhorn team. Obviously they've had some injuries and moved some people around, just like we have. I'm not sure we're the same team that we played Buckhorn with. And so, we got to do a great job of execution on both sides. We got to tackle, and we can't let their athletes get going.
What about, do they have any standout players that usually have a running back? I think a couple of years ago they had an all-state guy at running back.
Yeah, the quarterback's very good. Is a thrower, kind of does a great job with RPOs and getting the ball where it needs to be. I think he kind of took a shot right at the end of the second quarter against Buckhorn and didn't play in the second half. And obviously if he's not in, their offense is a little bit different. And then they got number 55 is a one technique, and he's hard to handle. Big athletic guy that we're going to have to, do a great job coming off the ball and great job with our angles on down blocks and with our double teams. Make sure we get him blocked.
We'll do, this being a non-region game, right? And the kids look out there and they see an O by their name. Does it play into their psyche and what they're thinking? I know that it's kind of hard to
Well, if I was a psychiatrist, I'd say yes.
Well, and they're seeing the same thing on their side, right? So, I mean, they're looking at us like they got an opportunity to win. I imagine we're walking into it thinking, we're not going to be psyched out.
Well, this is also being homecoming.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you got to factor all the extracurricular activities.
Do you allow your kids to go to build the float?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We tell them the game's the most important thing. It's last for a reason. The floats are done. The homecoming queen has been crowned. The parade's over. If the game wasn't the most important thing, we'd play it Tuesday about 3 o'clock out here. And as far as the psyche and all of that, if we change our approach because we're playing Lee, then something's wrong. We should have the same approach for Hartselle at 4-0 that we had for Lee at 0-5. And do we? Probably not. And that's part of the reason we're here. If they had that psyche, I'm not sure that me and my staff would be here.
Oh, well, let me ask you, so what do you think are some tangible on-the-field keys to beating Lee? Offensively,
we've got to not turn the football over. We can't have bad snaps on 2nd and 2.
Right.
It's almost like on offense, we'll have 2 good plays and 10 bad ones. And right now, we're letting it snowball on us. And when you can't do anything very effective, it's going to be hard to score. And I thought we did a pretty good job of keeping them off balance with some different motions, running triple, some stuff that we did in the past game. We had some creases and we had some opportunities. And, like we've talked for almost 5 shows now, it's somebody different every snap that is not executing at a high level, and their guy always seems to luck up and make the play. Right. And I don't know if that's luck or not, but, when we put it all together, we sustain drives. When we put it all together, we have an opportunity to score, but unfortunately we're just not doing that.
Well, I think there were a couple of first downs against Hartselle where we had the play called, executed it right, but the end result was a drop pass or something that all of a sudden we're 2nd and 10 versus a first down or 2nd and 1. And that's one of the things that Brent and I had talked about, that our team is of such that it's a double whammy when we don't catch it and we miss a tackle or miss a block, and it's just we're looking for stringing plays together to give us confidence to be able to do something. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to see on Friday against Lee.
And that's what we've been hammering all year, all week, every day, is consistency. And we don't have to get 77, but we don't need to get -3. And big plays are going to come. We've had some big plays, but it seems like every time we do something good, we shoot ourselves in the foot. And we're not talented enough right now to do that. And one day we're going to be talented enough where we can miss a block and make a guy miss, or get out of the pocket and get the ball off, or whatever, or run by a guy, or whatever it may be. But right now we're not only are we fighting our opponent, we're fighting ourselves, and
probably ourselves more than our opponent.
Absolutely, and that ain't good.
All right, let's throw some mystery questions.
Well, what about the homecoming floats? Have you made a theme in any of the homecoming floats? Have you heard?
No, I don't.
You don't know.
You don't get into
You stay out of that.
I played Family Feud today, and teachers won. That's about that's my contribution to the homecoming festivities.
All right, mystery question.
Well, do we want to compliment our diamond sponsors ahead of that?
Yes, let's do that. Let me do that. Diamond sponsors: JW McCool Home Inspection Services, BCA General Contractors, B&B Roofing, Prodigy Services Inc., Decatur Morgan Hospital, Impact Sales and Services, Stovall Marks Insurance, PM Nutrition, I think that's Point Mallard Nutrition, right? J&M Signs.
And I tell you, none of this is possible without our sponsors. And you know what? We're getting close to the 1,000 subscribers. I think we're at 800 plus. So when we get to that 1,000 subscribers, something good happens.
Yeah,
something good for the program happens.
Yeah.
Right? So
I don't know what that is, but yeah,
a date with John Godwin. Have you and the tidy whities? Have you got anybody in your extended family that actually that can't be here present at the games, but has been able to watch? I know your dad still hadn't figured out how to get on YouTube to watch the coaches show.
Lily and Lincoln, they'll show it. Yeah, I think my sister and brother-in-law have watched a couple in between doing all their Friday night festivities. My nephew's pretty active.
Where are they?
Athens.
Okay. Is he a coach or?
No, he's in the medical field.
Okay. Very good. So mystery questions. You get one chance to give us a mystery question, but not today.
Sounds good.
All right, we've talked about music. Music is a big part of your family. We may or may not really have talked about this, but the genre of music, we talked about Zach Top. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't know Zach Top. You told me about Zach Top. I looked him up, and he is really good.
Yeah,
he's going to be like, he might be bigger than George Strait one day. I know that's a big shoes to fill, but
he's got a good sound.
He's got a good sound.
Country and Western, huh?
Yeah. It's
so
old school
you went to, remind me where you went to go hear him.
Lainey Wilson. He opened for her.
Open for Lainey Wilson. Okay. Other than that, Lainey Wilson, you know what Lainey
Wilson? Is that a
Wilson?
girl?
Yeah, she's
Come on, man.
old school, man. Old school. So, other than that, what's your last concert you went to, other than Zach Top and
Probably
Lainey Wilson?
10 years ago, we went to see Eric Church and Blackberry Smoke at Bridgestone Arena.
Okay. Did y'all stay the weekend? Make a trip of it?
Yeah, that was when me and Lauren first started dating. That was probably our first trip, so that's been 12 years ago.
You need to get out more.
No kidding. I don't have any free time.
Now, you were going to be a roadie for her, but did she find early on that you didn't have any musical skills like the tambourine? Did she want to get you to play?
No, I can play the tambourine. That's
You can
it.
play tambourine?
Yeah. I got some dance moves, and I can play the tambourine, but that's about it. I have no singing ability. I'd like to play the guitar if I could ever learn how, but I don't think I could learn.
I do play the guitar. Some people may not call it that, but I do find it soothing. If I find it a stress relief. If any of your players, football players, play the guitar, doesn't Trey play a little?
Yeah, Trey does.
I hear Trey's pretty good.
He's the only one I've heard that does anything like that.
Okay. Well, we're motivated to get Lauren a gig around here, and we're gonna completely support her. So.
We need to get about 3 a month.
3 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So is it my time?
It's your turn.
Okay. Mine is a little bit different. If you could sit down with any current college coach to pick their brain, who would it be? Current college coach.
Josh Heupel.
Oh,
that's a good one.
So
is it an offensive guy?
yeah, he is.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but you're thinking offensive guy.
Yeah, well, just really who's relevant right now. So 2 years ago, he spoke at the Alabama Football Coaches Association deal, and I was on that board. And so Coach Busby from Helena and I got to show around him and Shane Beamer, and that's who we were kind of responsible for. And man, we sat with Coach Heupel and Coach Beamer for hours after they got done speaking, and they were just as nice as they could be and talked. And my dad was with us, and he has some Loretta ties because he coached there for 8 years after he retired, and so he was talking about Loretta, Tennessee, and like I said, Coach Heupel was just as cool as he could be.
Is that a country singer?
What?
Loretta,
that's a place, man.
Loretta, Tennessee, man.
Lord, you have to get out more.
I know.
Talking about me getting out.
But hey, and he's pretty relevant today. He had a big win Saturday.
I know.
He's a good dude. He seems like obviously he's talented coach because he's taking Tennessee to a
let
new
me ask
level.
this: what about past coaches?
Let me say something about Coach Heupel that I was watching Sports Center on Saturday.
Now, he's the one that
he was at Oklahoma. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate, or he won the Heisman.
He had that SEC coaches, and he was the mobile home salesman, right?
I don't know about that, but what I do know, what he said on that show was that he got fired from. Bob Stoops fired him, and he said that was a low point in his career, but it really made him the man he is today. He kind of got to reset in coaching.
Yeah.
He got to reset in coaching. He went to South Florida. Before that, where was he?
UCF.
He went to.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, he went to UCF, and then Tennessee got him at a good point. But hey, before you go there, I'm in honor of Tim McCullough. All right, so Tim, I think he asked you this before at one of the before we did the coaches show, and I don't feel like you got to say John and Nick and I, but
Who's your favorite broadcaster?
Yeah, who's your favorite broadcaster? If you
Please
could have
don't say-
anybody in the booth and on the sideline, who would it be?
I mean, Wesley Perry did do it. He knocked it out. He knocked it out.
he did great,
He
too.
knocked it out of the
He
park
sure
when he
did.
was out.
Man, he was
I
good.
think he even threw a Cal Ripken reference out
he
there,
was
didn't
good.
he?
He sent me a Big Bird outfit that I'm gonna wear Friday night. It's a big yellow monsoon jacket. I'll get up, but he said his golfing outfit didn't pay off that week. But
You guys, you all are the best. You gotta be where your feet are. It's from a feet are, so therefore you guys are the best.
You got that right. All right, so I was going to say, any past coach, anybody? I like to talk to Coach Webb.
Past coach.
Yeah,
posthumously, is that what you're saying?
yeah, anybody. They could
Okay.
be dead 100 years. Newt Rockney, Canute.
I mean, I guess the Decatur answer is Coach Ogle.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
just for that's the Homer.
Good answer.
The Homer answer.
Have you read the book?
I read part of it.
Okay.
I'm not a big reader, but I've had it a little time, so I've started kind of dabbling in it.
Well, one thing that, and I'm going to talk about it to the kids on the 5th of October at the breakfast. One thing that I felt like he paved the way for his legacy, and we're just continuing on with that, and I'll talk more about that. But that's a really good answer from a coach's perspective. And what do you got?
no, I'm done.
You're done?
We're done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go out Friday night. We're gonna play mistake-free ball. We're gonna be in tune with the game, from the guys out on the field to the guys on the sidelines. We're gonna come up with a victory.
Have you watched the weather forecast? Looks
Yeah.
like it could be
I think me and Mr. Mitchell were talking about that today. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be out of here by game time.
Okay.
I think Thursday may be rough, and I think Friday early will be kind of touch and go. But by
So if it were to
evening
get
and night,
pushed back, you don't pull it forward. You'd have to.
I called him today. I don't know what he would do.
well, and that's the beauty of having turf versus
Yeah,
real grass.
because it could quit raining at 6:50 and everything's
Yeah,
great.
you're
I mean,
fine.
footing wise, Muscle Shoals, we didn't have any issues as far as the field. Obviously the ball gets wet, but I thought we handled that pretty well too.
Yeah.
It kind of puts a damper on things because people don't want to come sit in the rain, and I get that. So hopefully it'll be out of here in time for us to have a great homecoming crowd to not only support these young men, but the cheerleaders, the band, and also the homecoming court. That's a special thing.
Well, we're going to start our second half of the season Friday. We're going to be 1-0.
Absolutely.
And regardless of what day it is,
It's a great day to be
be
a
a Red
Raider.
Raider.